Because of my job, people tend to make a lot of assumptions about the rest of my life, right? I'm a time management and productivity coach, a stress reduction coach. People tend to think that my entire life is incredibly organized, every single part of it. And there is, of course, some truth to that, right? I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't have some of those skills. It's true that my inbox is usually around, whatever zero-ish is to me, which is kind of somewhere between 0 and 15 or 20. It's true that, my work weeks are pretty darn planned out. It's true that I have a fridge and freezer inventory. And the reason that I have that is because if I didn't, things would rot or I would waste money on things that kind of like lost in the freezer. And part of that is because I have ADHD and I would just, out of sight, out of mind, would never see them again. I have a pretty darn organized task system, and that's because it's necessary for me. If I didn't have that, I would spend so much more time just worrying about not doing the things, forgetting about the things, et cetera, than actually doing the things, right? So all of these things in my life that are organized, they serve a purpose. And that purpose is to help me do more of the things I want to do and less of the things that I don't want to do. But there's no kind of like moral high ground, I don't think, personally, in kind of being organized, right? Or, having this perfectly organized life, et cetera. There are a whole lot of ways in which I am not what you might imagine, right? I am a really messy person, right? I try to keep the public spaces of my house pretty clean, but if you look at my bedside table or next to my bed, it's just a total disaster, right? There's just stuff everywhere. I have an Everest-esque mountain of laundry a lot of the time. Sometimes I put it on the bed because I'm like, tonight I'm going to fold the laundry while I watch TV. And then, I get into bed, it's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I dump all that laundry on the floor again. And then the next day, the whole cycle starts. And maybe that happens a few times before the laundry actually gets folded, right? There are lots of ways that I'm not the perfectly organized person, and that's okay. Right. And I used to feel a little bit embarrassed sharing this other part with people, especially because I thought, oh, people are coming to me for time management, for productivity, for organization, for all of these things. Like I can't show that I am not that in every single way in my life. But the truth is that we are all a bunch of different things all together, and we can be really organized in some ways, and we can have other ways that it just doesn't affect the quality of our life. And so that's fine, right? Like I'm a person who I'm just not going to organize all of my photos because you know what? Google does a pretty good job of allowing me to search for what I need and I can find it. So I don't feel that need to be, highly super organized in every single part of my life. I really think about it as what is going to serve me in doing more of the things I want to do and less of the things that I don't want to do. And so I'm sharing this with you because I'm willing to bet that there might be things in your life that feel a little discordant like this as well. There's areas that you would like to take more control of, and there's areas where you feel really good about where you are. And I don't want you to feel guilt or shame about the areas that are not exactly where you want them to be, right? I don't want you to feel behind. I don't want you to feel like this is your fate. I don't want you to feel like, oh, it's been forever. I can't, I'm just this way and I can't change these things. Because if there's something that is negatively affecting your life, that is something that I bet we could change. And, of course, if you would like help, I'm here and we could do that together. I want to tell you a little story. Just I want to come back to this no shield, no guilt, no shame, right? Uh, so I had a client who was in my last cohort of Time Well Spent, my program, and she was really, she was engaged in the online community and the Slack community that we have. She had found an accountability buddy, and they were engaged together. They were working towards things like she was in it, right? But she wasn't coming to the live sessions, and of course that's not a requirement. You can still make progress without doing that. But her accountability buddy suggested to her that she might want to come to the sessions. And apparently she wasn't coming because she felt behind. I could go off on a whole tangent there. I don't believe in behind. We are all doing things at our own pace, and that is just how we need to do it, right? I'm not going to rush you. You don't need to rush yourself. Some people go really fast through things. Some people go a little bit slower. Some people want to go fast and then double back and go slower. Like all of that is fine. So regardless to say, I don't really believe in behind, but she wasn't coming because she felt kind of behind. And her accountability buddy said, just come, right? Like people are all different stages. They're asking all sorts of different questions. Just come. And she came. And what she said after that first session was, I'm so glad I came. I feel really seen. People here get it. They understand what I'm going through. They're supportive. And she came to all of the next sessions of that cohort until they were over. She got to experience that. She felt like, this is a place where her time was well spent, right? She was getting value out of being there, getting value out of other people. She was a value add to the group. I'm so glad she came. And so I share this story because I think that sometimes we maybe neglect our own needs because we're feeling like embarrassed about something, right? Or feeling some shame or feeling some guilt. And the most important thing for me in my practice, when I work with people, whether that's in the Time Well Spent program or whether that's individually or even in my online courses, the most important thing to me is that we start to cultivate this self-compassion, that we start to ditch the guilt, the shame that we may have had around not being as organized as we would like in all of the areas of our world that we would like, not being as kind of together with things as we would like, because that's actually the first step to making progress is to being kind to ourselves about all of that. So I try to create this environment for every single person that I work with because I think it's really one, it's a lifelong skill that we could all use, right? When we're kind to ourselves, our brains want to get better at the things. When we're not kind to ourselves, our brains are like, no, maybe I won't even try that because I'm just going to get yelled at by the voice in my head. So we want to cultivate this self-compassion for ourselves, right? And if you are saying, you know what, I would like to take a little bit more control of my time, or maybe there are areas of my life that I feel, more disorganized than others. If you would like some help with that, and you would like to do it in a container that is guilt-free, that is shame-free, that is filled with other people who want to support you and could use a little bit of your support as well. If you want to do that together, then my Time Well Spent program is open for enrollment starting on the 27th. So you may be seeing this after that, but starting on the 27th of August right now, and it is open until September 5th of 2024. That's when you can join. So if this is something where you think, you know what, maybe I would like to take a little bit more control of my time. Maybe I would like my email to not feel like it's completely out of control and like I'm drinking from the fire hose. Maybe I would like to not worry that I am forgetting the important things that need to happen, or I'm always scrambling to do things at the last minute. And I'm sick of feeling guilt and shame about that. I'd like to just make progress in an environment with other people who also want to make progress, then check it out. The link is right below. And if you have questions, of course, reach out to me. I would love to chat with you and figure out if this is the right next step for you.
I second that. Make sure you subscribe because only about 14% of you guys are actually subscribed. So if you like the content, please subscribe. And thank you.